You will see that we use very often a system image gallery. Here's a brief explanation of how it works in detail when we load images. A. Click on the button, select System Image Gallery opens. On the left side, you now see a thumbnail of the images. B. Click on the thumbnail. The overlay opens to show the full image. C. Click on the button Pick if you want to use this image. D. Click on the button Save, and that's it, as you see here. You will see that we very often use colors. To use the Color Manager, you have to work like this. A. Click in the text field. B. Color Selection Tools open. C. Select a color you like. D. You can preview the selected color. E. Click on the small icon on the right side to choose the color. F. Click Save, and that's it, as you see here. We start with the area where you manage the template objects. Here you have 5 objects where you can manage the size and positions of these objects. A. This green stripe, what you see here on top, is the background header. We call it L header. B. Below the header background you see the page navigation. We call it L navigation. C. As next you see this red background all over the page, we call it L index. D. In the center of the page you see a pink box. We call this L stage. E. This yellow stripe where you see on the end of the page is the background footer. We call it L footer. Now we can define the backgrounds for L header, L index, and L footer like this. A. We open the Template Manager by clicking on this icon. An overlay opens. B. We click on Tab Header to manage settings for L header. We use in drop-down the option Gradient to set as a background color blue. For this we have to select 2 kinds of different blue to use gradient effect. C. Click on the tab Background to manage settings for L index. Here we use in the drop-down the option Image Full Size and load an image from the system gallery. D. We click on Tab Footer to manage settings for L footer. We use in the drop-down the option Repeat to use a small image with 5 pixel width. This will work to cover the footer background because the system just repeats the background image loading as often as needed. And that's it. Here you see how it looks. Define the sizes of L header, L stage, and L footer works like this. A. Click on header to activate it. In the property window there appears a system message, L header. B. Set now a value in field H. And here you see how your settings impact the height of the header. C. The second option is to archive the same result by dragging, as you see here. D. To resize the footer, you work the same way. You click on the footer to activate it. After that, the property window shows L footer. Now you can resize it with value H in property window or by dragging the footer as you see here. E. The object L stage works a little differently. You activate it by clicking, but now you can not only define height, but also the width, as you see here. The height and width of the navigation you set in Navigation CSS settings here. After that, the system calculates automatically the navigation width for your template. Let me give you an example. A. Let's say you have 5 navigation objects. B. Each of these navigation objects has a width of 100 px. C. In this case, your navigation width will be automatically 500 pixels. D. If you later extend your navigation to 6 objects, the system will take care and recalculate your navigation width to 600. To define the height of L index, you set a value in the field DF, which stands for distance footer. Let us give you an example for a better understanding of why it works like this. Here you see a web page only with a few lines of content. And here you see a web page with 10,000 words. Both pages work perfectly because we manage the proportion between the end of the content and the starting point of L footer. You have several options to change the position of the objects L navigation and L stage within your page template like this. A. Click on Navigation to activate it. In the property window appears a system message, L navigation. B. To create stable results, what works in every screen resolution, we recommend you use the buttons left, right, center. After that, you can set values in fields R and L to move navigation more to left or right side. C. As well, you can manage the vertical position by dragging and dropping or by setting a value in the property window in the field Y. D. You can place the navigation by dragging and dropping wherever you want, as you see here. If you want to work with stages, you have to set 3 images for header, content, and footer like this. A. Open Stage Manager. B. Set 3 different images like stage header, stage content, and stage footer. C. Note it's important that you use 3 different images with different names, even when you need only one image 3 times. E. Click on the Save button if you're done. Stages are great, we love them, but we know as well that they can be a bit old-fashioned. Many pages like this here don't use stages anymore. If you don't want to use stages, you have to work just like this. A. Open Stage Manager. B. Here we use a stage where we set 3 transparent images, therefore you don't see any stage. C. I'll make now for a demo purpose a border around the stage. Now you see it. D. Please note that it's always necessary to set a stage and use images to avoid broken stage appearance in the browser due to missing images. To use CSS settings, you have to work like this. A. Open Stage Manager. B. Click on tab CSS. C. Set a border size of 2 and define a color blue. It then looks like this. D. To use CSS shadow effect, select in the drop-down field On. After that, select a color. It looks then like this. E. You can use CSS round corners. We use 20 for top and bottom. It looks then like this. If you want to use scroll inside your pages, you have to work like this. A. Open the Stage Manager. B. Open tab Scroll. C. Define the width of your scroll. D. Select Color On. This is the color that page visitors see first. E. Select Color Roll Over. This is the color visitors will see when they use scroll. F. Click Save when you're finished. And here's the result. If you like stages, then you'll surely love this. You can use certain effects to use stage effect like this. A. Open Stage Manager. B. Open, depends on the page technology, you use either tab flash effect or HTML. C. Select effect from the drop-down list. F. Now you see how this effect works. G. Click on the Save button when you're finished. Before you start to manage your header content, we recommend you watch the first video documentation for chapter Create Content and chapter Tools because it works exactly the same way, which means you'll have nothing new to learn when you've done that already. A. Click on in top navigation on Home. B. Click on this icon, a new page opens. C. In the middle you find this blue box in the background. You can drag this blue box as you see here to increase the height, but not the width. D. Furthermore, you can place content in this blue box as you see it here. E. The rest works exactly as you've seen in chapter Tools and Create Content. Before you start to manage your footer content, we recommend you watch the first video documentation for chapter Create Content and chapter Tools because it works exactly the same way, which means you'll have nothing new to learn when you've done that already. A. Click on Home. B. Click on this icon, a new page opens. C. Scroll down to the end of this page. D. The rest is again the same as you've seen in the header content. If you want to set for each page a different effect, you have to work like this. A. Click on Home. B. Click on this icon, an overlay opens. C. Select an effect. D. Click on OK. Navigation. A. If you place navigation to the right side of your template, as you see here in this video, you will risk that it might not work. The reason is that it will not look in every screen the same. What works maybe great in your screen will not later work for your page visitors due to different screen resolution. B. It might happen that the content of your footer is bigger than planned. Therefore, we recommend you urgently always look to your footer after you make changes in the footer. It could look then probably like this here. But don't worry, the solution is very easy. A. Increase footer height and don't worry, this impacts just your footer. All other template proportions will work fine. B. Basically, you should see the solution already in the back end. C. Click Save. Look in the front end how it works.